My grandmother promised that her house would be mine one day, but after she passed away, my sister did something I never expected. My grandmother wasn't just my grandmother, she was my best friend. While everyone else in the family was busy with their own lives, I spent every weekend with her. I helped her clean the house, cooked meals for her, drove her to doctor appointments, and stayed with her whenever she felt lonely. My sister rarely visited. She always had an excuse. Sometimes she was too busy with work. Sometimes she had plans with friends. And sometimes she simply didn't want to come. But whenever money was mentioned, she suddenly became interested. As Grandma got older, her health began to decline. I was the one who stayed by her hospital bed during long nights. I was the one who held her hand when she was scared. And I was the one who listened to her stories over and over again, even when she forgot she had already told them. One evening, while we sat together on her porch, she looked at me and smiled. "Thank you for never leaving me," she said. I hugged her and told her I loved her. I had no idea it would be one of our last conversations. A few months later, my grandmother passed away peacefully in her sleep. I was devastated. The funeral was heartbreaking. Family members cried, shared memories, and talked about how much they loved her. Listening to them felt strange because many of them hadn't visited her in years. A week later, everyone gathered at a lawyer's office for the reading of the will. I wasn't thinking about money. I was still grieving. Then, the lawyer opened the document. Grandma had left her house to me. The room instantly became silent. Then, my sister exploded. "What? That's impossible!" she shouted. The lawyer calmly explained that Grandma had personally written detailed instructions and had legally signed everything. My sister turned red with anger. She manipulated Grandma. She screamed while pointing at me. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Before I could even respond, my parents joined in. "Maybe you should share the house with your sister," my mother said. "Family is more important than money," my father added. I stared at them in disbelief. Then I asked a simple question. "Where were all of you when Grandma needed help?" Nobody answered, because they knew the truth. Days passed, and the pressure only got worse. My sister called me constantly. My parents begged me to give her half the house. Relatives I hadn't spoken to in years suddenly started giving me advice. Then things became even worse. My sister hired a lawyer and filed a lawsuit against me. She wanted the entire house. For months, we battled in court. The stress consumed my life. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't focus. Every day felt like another fight. But I refused to give up. Grandma had trusted me. I wasn't going to betray her wishes. Finally, after months of hearings and legal arguments, the judge made a decision. The will was completely valid. The house belonged to me. My sister lost. When the judge announced the ruling, I felt years of stress leave my body. But instead of accepting the outcome, my sister blamed me for everything. According to her, I had ruined the family. Soon afterward, my parents stopped calling. Family gatherings continued without me. It hurt. There were nights when I cried myself to sleep wondering if I had made the wrong choice. But deep down, I knew I hadn't. A year later, I decided to sell the house. The property had increased in value, and the sale gave me enough money to start my own business. I worked harder than I ever had before. Slowly, my business began to grow. Months turned into years. Eventually, I became successful. I bought my dream home. I traveled, and for the first time in my life, I felt truly independent. Then one afternoon, my phone rang. The caller ID showed my sister's name. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity got the better of me. When I picked up, she was crying. She had accumulated massive debt. Her investments had failed, and now she needed help. The same sister who had sued me, the same sister who tried to take Grandma's house, the same sister who turned the entire family against me. She begged me for money. For a moment, I stayed silent. Then I remembered all the sleepless nights, all the accusations, all the betrayal, and most importantly, I remembered my grandmother, the woman who had rewarded love, loyalty, and kindness. Finally, I spoke. Grandma rewarded love. not greed. Then I wished her well and ended the call. For the first time in years, I felt completely at peace, because I finally understood something important. The house was never the real inheritance. The real inheritance was the lesson my grandmother left behind. The people who truly love you will stand beside you when you have nothing, and the people who only love your money were never really family at all.